Hey everyone, I'm Mary and welcome back to another week of Thrifty Tuesday. Today we're going to craft using some of the items I recently thrifted and some home decor I already had laying around the house. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Did anybody go thrifting this weekend? Let me know in the comment section. I normally do go thrifting on the weekends, but this weekend I didn't go thrifting. I went back home to visit my family. So I'm originally from New York City and we live in Connecticut. We bought our first home in Connecticut. So it's always nice when we get to go back home and visit family. Today's craft items are going to be super simple. You guys can do the same projects at your home using things you already have at home, which is paint and just rub and buff if you have that to get that gold look on your decor. I buy mine from Amazon, but you could also buy those at craft stores like Michael's and Hobby Lobby. Rub and buff, my little tube of rub and buff is actually almost finished, but this little tube goes a long way. This is the color Gold Leaf. Anyways, here's a close-up. Like I said, mine is almost finished and I should get another one of these tubes because I love to use rub and buff on any decor to give it a new look. I'm going to share with you guys a project that I did recently. All I did was spray paint the vase and I used rub and buff to get that gold look. A few months ago, I thrifted this vase. I'm not really sure if it's a vase or it's supposed to be a jar and it's missing the lid, but before it used to be a purple color. And I spray painted black, and then after I spray painted, I let it dry. Then I just rubbed rub and buff all over it, and now I'm using it as a candle holder, well, paper candle holder. Thought today we could just hang out and chat, and as I share with you guys some of my home decor projects that's super simple to do. All I'm doing to give it a new look is just painting it over. I recently got these artworks printed from my local CVS. These are digital prints. And what I'm going to do with these is super simple. I'm just going to rub Mod Podge just so it can have that matte finish to it. I have done this to my previous artwork before, and I'm going to share with you guys how I make my artwork have that matte finish and not the glossy look anymore. To get the matte finish look, I simply use just Mod Podge and a regular paintbrush. I know some people like to use oil painting paintbrush, but I don't have that, so all I'm gonna do is try to make it look like I'm actually painting the trees using my Mod Podge. And you want to take just a little bit, not too much. And I like to just press down so the brush strokes can show. I like to work from one side to the other, that way my hand isn't touching the Mod Podge. And after you're finished painting with the Mod Podge, you want to let this dry for a couple of hours. I'm going to do the same technique on this one now, and then I'm going to let them dry for a couple of hours, and then I'm going to frame it in a picture frame where I've removed the glass piece out of. The next craft that I'm going to do is this frame that I recently thrifted for $1, and I'm going to do rub and buff on it. So right now it is this silver black tone frame. I do like the color, but I want a gold look. And what I'm going to do is just the edging I'm going to just slightly rub some rub and buff on it. I'm just going to use a very little bit, not too much, just enough to cover my paintbrush, and then slowly just go around it. See how that little piece of paint covers so much? One thing I forgot to do is remove the glass, but then I realized I can't because it has the nail part to this one. So I'm just gonna paint over it. So some of the parts I'm having a hard time using the paintbrush. I'm just using my finger and just rubbing the rub and buff. So I don't know if you can see, it's getting that gold color on the brown part too. This is what it looks like after I used rub and buff on this frame. The next part isn't necessary, but I like to do this to give my rub and buff pieces of aged look. So right now it's kind of gold, as you can see, but I want to tone it down a little bit, and I like to rub a little brown paint after I paint it with rub and buff. Can you tell the difference between the brown paint and rub and buff and just a regular rub and buff? This part is more yellow looking and this is more aged looking. So you're just going to apply just a little bit of paint, slightly, and then just cover the first part, just a little layer, and then keep rubbing it in until it's all mixed in nicely. Just keep mixing it in until the brown starts to disappear, and now you can see the aged look. And also doing this, it brings out some of that original color, which is the black metal color. The last thing you're going to do to this picture frame is you're going to wipe off some of that extra brown paint so the gold can come through. And here's the final look. This is an easy way to get free wall art or pictures for your mini frames. If you don't have family pictures that you want to frame at the moment, or you just don't have any small art prints, you can find pictures in magazines and cut them out. So for this piece, I'm going to put the frame over it to see where I want it to be cut. So I'm going to just figure this out. So I want this part of the picture, and I'm going to use the back of the frame as a guide for how big I should cut it. Next item that I'm going to paint is this wooden horse. This one was actually a toy horse. When I first found it, it was red, and then I spray painted it black. I kept it black for a couple of years, and then I did rub and buff to make it look gold. And now I'm thinking I'm just gonna paint it using brown paint, one of these brown paint, to make it look like a wooden rocking horse. Also, this horse is missing its tail, so I'm still trying to figure out how I can make a tail. Maybe I could use like my kids' Play-Doh and make it like a tail and then paint over it. I'm not really sure. If you guys have an idea of how I can make a tail for this wooden horse, let me know. I'm not really sure what color wood I'm gonna go with, like if it's a dark color, brown or light. So I'm gonna first paint it using this antique white apple barrel paint. And these paints are just regular craft paint. I got these from Amazon. I believe Walmart sells these too, but I got these from Amazon for about 60 cents each. So I'm just gonna grab a paintbrush and just paint over this gold. I'm doing white first, that way it can be the base color, and then the brown will show more, because I feel if I do brown on the gold, it'll just become a dark color. Like, also this brush, it's actually not a paint brush, it's actually a makeup brush that I just picked up from Dollar Tree, and I like that it's very smooth and soft, and it's easy to use when you're painting. Now put this horse to dry for a few minutes. While that's drying, I'm going to try to figure out, as you can see, the paint's still coming off, but I'm going to try to figure out what color wood tone, like fake wood tone, I want this horse to look like. So I still have the antique white paint right here, and I'm going to start playing around with my brown paint. I'm sorry if you could hear the fire trucks. So the colors I'm mixing are these three colors right here. So the nutmeg brown, antique white, and the burnt umber. This is slightly still wet, but I'm gonna start painting it. The bat, I don't like the color at all, but you know what, this is gonna actually work. I have an idea. One good thing about paint, if it doesn't turn out the way you want it, you could always repaint it, and you will never mess up when you're painting an item, because you could always repaint it, like I said. So I'm just gonna paint it using this color, and then what I'm gonna do, when it's slightly dried, well, almost halfway, I'm gonna add this brown color. I think this color will look nice. Close-up of the rocking horse, well, wooden horse. It's like a grayish brown color right now, and I want it to be more brown, so it looks more like a wood. When painting, there's no exact color method I use. I just do random things to achieve the look I want. So I just wanted to show you guys my painting technique to get those look too. So now I'm just rubbing in that brown paint, not rubbing it, using a paintbrush to slightly rub it into those areas that's too gray looking. Some areas I'm going darker, some areas it's lighter. And you just want to use a little paint on the brush to get that look. I'm gonna let this horse dry up for a couple hours. You see how that gold keeps trying to come through? Because I'm not fully letting it dry and it's just sticky and it's coming through. So that's a major flaw on my part. I'm gonna have to just let this dry, and then later on, I'm gonna try to paint it. Don't do what I did. If you wanna hide the rubbing book part, I would say spray paint it first. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Learn from my mistakes. Anyways, I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna go pick up my boys from school, and then I'll get back to this. I do one last layer of brown on my horse now. It's fully dried. So I'm just using plain brown paint this time to get that brown look. I'm not even sure how I got this to be this color. All I did was mix in that brown paint, which is this one right here. I just painted the horse using that color, and it made it look like it's made out of terracotta material now. I really like this, but this is not the look I was going for, so I'm not really sure how I feel. But I was trying to go for like a wooden horse look. But this looks pretty cool. What do you guys think? I think I'm gonna call it quits with this horse and just keep with this color now. I'm gonna let it finish dry, and then I'll style it in my living room and show you guys what it looks like. One thing I'll say with refreshing your decor with just painting, if you get tired of it, you can just repaint it, spray paint it, whatever color you like, or just paint it using craft paint to give it a new look. This horse, I painted it now 3 times, and most likely over summer, I'll probably repaint it again. Alright, so I'm going to share with you guys how I paint this vase. Hold this planter to look aged. It's very orange and I want to tone it down, and I'm going to share with you guys how I use different paints to make it look aged. Using the same paint that I'm already using, I'm just painting it. What I'm doing first is just covering the whole planter. These are the colors I might use to paint this vase right here. I'm not really sure what look I'm going for. All I know is I want it to look very aged. I'm going to start off with the white color. This is the antique white color. Did a super light coat of the white paint, well, the antique white paint, and now as you can see it's already slowly starting to dry, and then I'm going to start adding in some of these other colors. little bit of the brown paint and a little bit of the green paint, slowly applying around the area, and I'm just tapping until it mixes nicely with the white paint. You want to just slightly tap until it combines. By doing this, it creates the different color look. As you can see, it's different color. You see the green and then the brown, and this almost looks like it's made out of cement and it's been aging outside for many years. I noticed some of the colors didn't mix well, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of water, really little, and try to see if I could get the colors to mix better. Just want to wet it slightly. You're seeing the brown paint is because I'm using the same paintbrush that I used for the horse. This is not the color it's gonna be though. I'm just trying to cover it, and then you'll see. So now we're gonna just take a little bit of dried paper towel and just wipe off that extra color. And now I'm going to continue on with the other side now. Like I said, I really like water. You're just doing this to combine all the colors. If you want, you could just go like that to make it easier to save time too. And just wipe off the excess. Do you guys see the color? Because it's wet, it's easier to remove some of that extra paint now. I'm gonna just do the top now. A little water, just a little. The top, I feel like it might come off because it's so light painted. It's super light with that. That extra. So this part I feel like is too orange. I'm just gonna use a little bit more water. Stick it in there. If you feel like the color isn't the color you want, just use a little bit of water and just keep wiping it off. It'll come off. Do you see the green sticking out now? To be today. Because you're trying to make this look aged, you cannot go wrong with distressing it the way you want. So if you do mess up and you took off too much paint, just go back, add a little paint, and just repaint it. To get that look again. And one thing I'll say, if you do mess up, like really mess up and you want to start over, wash it down with water, hot water, and soap, and everything will come off. If you made it this far in the video, let me know which craft project that I did today was your favorite. I definitely had fun painting my decor to give it a new look. Some of the items did not turn out the way I had envisioned in my head, but that's okay because if I do get bored of this decor, I could always repaint it again. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today and watching me craft my decor today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you guys next week. Bye for now.